Good evening to you, everyone. How are you? It's good to see you, and it's good to be seen by you. Welcome, welcome, one and all. I'm glad you're all here. Welcome to the show. I, of course, am Bill Sylvie, aka the Dungeon Delver, coming to you on a Tuesday night. And Tuesday night means first edition Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, and I hope you guys are here and ready to play. Hello out there in TV land. Timothy, who is playing with us tonight. John Beach, Rabbit Wrangler, Jack Photon, Rob Turner, Cyrus Wright, Damien 247, Charles Latora, Joe Kaufman, Christopher Sims, Ms. Bella, Jorge Uribe, Zach Melvin, lots of you folks out there. Lots of you folks out there. Guys, it's an interesting day. It's an interesting day, and let me tell you why. Today is what a lot of people call Gygax Day. And what does that mean? Gary passed away on this day in 2007. And, above and beyond what we care about as far as tabletop games and everything, remember, this was a family man. This was a friend, a father. I could be here all night eulogizing Gary, but better people have done it than me, and they've said it in far fewer words. I'd like to say let's celebrate his entry into this world, not his exit from it, so that we can remember the good things and the good times, not the passing. But with that said, I know a lot of people say, hey, let's memorialize, let's go that way. And that's fine. That's absolutely fine. There's no there's no right way to celebrate Gygax Day. Whether you're Orthodox, Reformed, what have you. But there is something I think we can celebrate both days, and that is 3d6 down the line real quick. Okay? We have a few minutes before we get going on the AD&D game, so I think we can do 3d6 down the line real quick. And if you want to play along at home and do this, that's fine. We're going to do it right down the line. Strength, a 9. We got a 9 for strength. Intelligence, a 10. Not doing too bad. Strength and intelligence, pretty good. We could go magic user or fighter with this one, guys. Wisdom, Wisdom is also a 10. We could go fighting man, we could go cleric, or we could go magic user. Dexterity. Now we're using the white box. We don't have those fancy thieves. Anyone can find a trap in this edition. So our dexterity comes up a 15. A very adroit fighting man. Perhaps our referee will allow us a little bit of a bonus in our saving rolls. Constitution. How hearty is this fellow? Ooh, not very. Not very. Might have to go with magic user. And finally, charisma. Because if you can't beat him with brawn, then baffle him with BS. Charisma. A charisma of 18. I will be taking as many hirelings as possible. As many as I can afford. And 18 charisma. I am a very well-spoken. You know what? We have fighting man. We have cleric. Or we have magic user. I say we let the dice decide. 1, 2 fighting man. 3, 4 cleric. 5, 6 magic user. We have a magic user. And how much money do we have to spend on equipment? 3d6, and we multiply by 10, 15, 150 gold pieces to hire hirelings to go into the dungeon with us. I think it's a perfectly cromulent set of rolls that is a fine, fine character to have on Gygax Day. So he will live beautiful and die young, Gonzalo says. So sexy magic user, Kanek suggests. But anyway, so I like the stats we got. We got a good looking magic user. But anyhow, so there we go. Happy Gygax Day to you guys. If you want to remember Gary's passing, and of course, it was Ernie's passing not too terribly long ago. But to both of them, we raise our glass and we say, gentlemen, fight on. That's good healing potion. All right. So, with that said, we're going to get started playing AD&D here in just a few minutes. And to Don K. Absolutely, Kevin, to Don K. We are actually going to be joined by some other folks soon, I hope, here on the live stream playing D&D with us. I hope you guys are excited about that. Next week we will have someone joining us. We will have another player joining us. I have the cameras all arranged properly now, guys. I hope you appreciate it. So we'll get going on that here in just a minute. All right. Oh, people can hear me type in the back room. Anyhow, yeah, I have a mechanical keyboard. This is a red dragon keyboard, so you guys could be attacked by a red dragon. This is a fairly nice mechanical keyboard. It's got B key rollover. It's got some very nice features. But if you guys want to hear loud, I can move my IBM Model M keyboard over here for the next live stream. It sounds like an M60 machine gun with a trigger held down. Tack, 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 tack. I love it. I love it, but I think it would drive you guys bonkers. I actually saw one on a tech YouTuber's stream, a mechanical keyboard that he bought from, I think it was Amazon. And it was only like $25, but it was a full travel mechanical keyboard. Same form factor as this one. But yeah, I'm very much Model M or nothing. I would prefer a 10 key on it. But in the amount of space I've got, actually a smaller keyboard works better for me. There's one on Amazon where all the keys are yellow peeps and it makes duck noises. Well, I know what I'm getting myself for Father's Day. But anyway, so tonight, if you don't know what we're doing here, we are playing first edition advanced Dungeons and Dragons. That's right. We're going to be playing AD&D. And what does that mean? You ask, what do you mean playing AD&D? What do you mean? What do you mean? Anyway, myself and an excellent table of players are going to play some AD&D. Now, does this mean you're just going to have to sit there passively, slowly dozing off, listen to people play D&D? Absolutely not. Here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. If you have any questions about what we're doing or how we're doing it or why we're doing it, I absolutely want you to feel free to ask in the live stream how it's going. Whether you've played D&D before, never played D&D before, have questions about it, whatever, feel free to ask. If I don't answer, it could be because I missed your question. So feel free to ask again, or someone else in the live stream audience might answer the question for you. Because folks, I have, and I will absolutely kill on this hill, the smartest and the best looking audience of all of the 5 night a week live stream classic TTRPG shows on YouTube. You can't even argue the point. You can't even argue the point. So, welcome then everybody to that. And let me ask you a favor. If you haven't done so already, it is super helpful if you would click the subscribe button and then click the bell icon for notifications. That would be super duper cool, and I would really appreciate it. It helps so much with the algorithm that we talk about so much here. So thank you very much in advance for doing that. John Beach asks if we can be porters, like Porter Wagner, the country western star. Absolutely, we can do that. So I think we're kind of at the point where I can put on my most excellent studio headphones, making sure I don't dump my White Russian all over my feet. If I knocked it over and sat in it, it would become a Russian asset. What do you people know from funny? All right, let's go ahead and welcome in our crew of excellent dungeon raiders. First up, we have a guy who is pretty awesome, both in character and out. Everybody, please welcome Doomsword Deathmaster as Durek Donegard. And I want to point out he is at Doomswords right here on YouTube. You should check out his channel. Everybody say hello to Dooms.
Hello.
Always get you drinking. Next up, we have, speaking of people here on YouTube, we have a great guy playing with us tonight. He's been around for a turn or two, as we say in D&D parlance. You can check him out at Timothy M. Holt. That's literally at Timothy M. Holt here on YouTube. Fantastic channel, great content. Everybody welcome everybody's favorite magic user, everybody's favorite pure magic user, I should say, Tim M. Holt as the magic user. Tim, good to see you.
Elminar, sorry, I didn't put my name in there tonight. It's been a long day. But dude, one time you got to say, there's a beverage here, man.
I know, and I have the perfect one for it, you know. There's a beverage here. I've even got the look for it tonight. Well, now I'll just have to go get another bottle of Bailey's before the next game. So next up, we have Kevin as Don Drexel, the magic user thief.
Glub, 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 glub.
Glub, 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 glub. And last and absolutely not least, another very cool YouTuber. He is D&Disability here on YouTube, has got some rad little videos. I do recommend checking them out. But he's a swell guy regardless. Everybody put your hands together for the one and only Thane Kyle as Holder, D&Disability, right here on YouTube, folks.
Hi-yo. By the way, Bill, if you haven't gotten the chance to see it, this might be a selling point for your business.
Alrighty.
Check out the new study that we just covered over on my channel about actually using D&D as therapy. You'd be amazed at how much of it lines up as therapy, like just regular play. I mean,
well, that is fascinating. I think everyone should check it out. D&Disability, go check it out on YouTube. It's not just me. It's you guys too should check it out. Hey, Gonzalo Lira, that's just like your opinion, Gonzalo. Thank you very much for the suit. We will sticker that up right there. Last week, the party had gone full home invasion on the slaver stockade in the distant haunted hills of the Draken's Grab, overlooking the wild coast, hoping to put the smackdown on the slavers. Entering the fortress by force right through the front door in one of the boldest maneuvers since the forces of good routed the Temple of Elemental Evil at Emerity Meadows a decade ago. You find yourselves within the twisting stone and wooden guts of this dungeon. Now, good Durek has already been in this dreadful place before, and with the map that was made by the gone but not forgotten thief Grimsby, stained with his very lifeblood as a testament to remember his fortitude and his intrepidity as he journeyed with you, you have found yourselves here in the dungeon halls. You are holed up in a storeroom, unsure of what will come next. Gentlemen, as you find yourselves in the storeroom, what are your intentions?
Right, so we collected all those coins, right, out of that box, as I recall. Mm-hmm. And we got a bunch of gems. We don't know what those are yet. We stuffed them away, I suppose. And I suppose we need to rest. Have we done that yet? I don't think so.
Last week, we got a little echoplex there. Thank you, Dooms. But last week we've got the party breaking into a storeroom and hiding out. That was the last piece of information your friendly neighborhood dungeon master, had.
Question, just informing the cleric as for last time. Did I cast any spells?
I do believe, as I was kind of pulling the script for good Holder, you had cast a gentleman. Help me out. Was it a prayer or a bless?
It was a bless.
It was a
bless.
That's fine. That's fine. Okay.
And
okay.
I think there was one other one too, wasn't there? I mean, I could be mistaken.
There was a cure light wounds in there somewhere.
Yeah, I think there was a cure light wounds on Paul.
Okay. Ooh, the echoing is happening.
Yes, we are getting a bit of echoplex.
So, I think because we have I have basically no spells left. We do need a rest period to reset sort of the cleric and the magic user, and to get everybody healed back up, because we took a beating as we came through that front door in some cases.
Yeah,
I didn't, because I was polymorphed into a bunny, but some other people did.
I do have 2 more cure light wounds if anyone needs it, and as of tomorrow morning, effectively, I could have a cure serious wounds as well.
Well, that is up to you guys to decide. As for right now, let me see if I can get a good camera view.
Well, that depends. Would you guys rather have cure light wounds or sticks to snakes? Or sorry, would you rather have cure serious wounds or sticks to snakes?
I think cure serious wounds might be more useful now that we're down here in the dungeon, but either one actually is quite useful. So,
well, yeah, because against a lot of guys with weapons, right, sticks to snakes is useful. But other than that, pretty much, yeah.
I don't know, Dooms. Maybe sticks to snakes. That worked out really well when we were storming the castle.
It did.
It was just my only way of dealing with archers beyond blinding them.
No, it worked out really well. It just like polymorphing into a bunny. Took me out of the fight, but got us in the door, right?
Yeah.
I think sticks to snakes probably.
Okay. Well, I just didn't know if how badly people were hurt. That's all. But does anybody want the healing now before we rest?
I don't remember what Paul's at, but I know I'm down 11.
Yeah,
and I don't have a lay on hands.
Paul was down, I think, to 11 hit points.
Yeah, down Paul took some serious hits.
11 out of, do we know?
I believe it was 11 out of 26.
Okay, so he's all okay. So let's do this then. Let's prioritize Paul. Cure light wounds on nice. My god loves him. My god really loves him. Can I cast a second one there, DM?
Absolutely.
Sorry, Doom. My god really loves him. Yup.
Oof. Okay.
Really,
well,
really loves him.
Paul's like holds his hand up and it's. I shall do my level best.
Garden hose on a house fire.
But at least it's no longer an artery hose.
Yeah.
It'll give him maybe one more hit.
Pretty much, yeah. That's why with my home game, I always do D6 plus 1 for healing, because yeah, you lose 1, right? But your minimum is 2.
Yeah, 2 to 7 scales it to the top on the average, right?
Yeah.
So
Well,
Okay.
that pretty much has me spent. Anybody else?
I still have
Nope.
Fireball remembered. If that you guys want me to cast that in here.
We're going to close room, so let's go with no.
Okay, just checking. Not that I ever ask what size the room is.
Not big enough. But
Rarely big enough, in fact.
I think if we're going to do a sleep session or a rest session, because we all know Bill. Do you want the magic user to sleep first, just so the spells recharge, or which order do you want to go in?
I usually take the morning.
Okay.
Well, as far as resting to recover spells, and for anyone who's curious about this, if you want to check out the rules, they are on page 40 of the Dungeon Master's Guide. If you have a really old Dungeon Master's Guide, it's got kind of a cool picture of a thief avoiding a minotaur. If you got a newer one, it's got a really cool picture of a wizard blasting a skeleton wizard. But anyway, on page 40 of the Dungeon Master's Guide, regardless of your class, spells are first to second level spells take 4 hours of rest, usually sleep, to recover. And then another 15 minutes of study and prayer. More advanced stuff, third to fourth level, 6 hours, fifth to sixth, 8 hours, 7th to 8th, 10 hours, and ninth level spells, 12 hours, which obviously you guys don't have access to any of those, but there you go. Now, I believe you guys hit, was it pre-dawn? I feel like it was pre-dawn.
Yeah, it was 3 a.m. or something when we finally hit.
Yeah. It was definitely after the moons had set. So it may be around dawn when your spells return. That's important for Kevin to know because of a certain magic item that he has.
Yes.
I'm going to elect, regardless of what the party decides, I'm going to sleep. I'm definitely sleeping first because I'm at the point now where I need pretty much I need 6 hours. So there's that.
I can take the first. I have a couple of magic missiles left and burning hands, but that's pretty much it.
Well, I suppose I could actually take first watch and then, yeah. So I have to be at either end is my point.
Yeah, I need 4 hours and 15 minutes. So, because I only cast one spell that I have to recover. And as an elf, I just need to meditate or whatever the hell they do when it's time to go to bed.
You need to chant Kusfraba.
Kolbasi.
Kusfraba.
Alrighty, so you guys are settling in the storage room. With 5 of you in there. I mean, this is a 20 by 20 room, so yeah, 200 square feet, but still it's crammed with various odds and ends. The first hour goes by relatively quietly. Who would be sitting up on watch at this point? Paul is definitely keeping his ear to the door, sort of leaning against it with his shoulder. He'll at least be able to buy you guys a moment or two if something tries to come barging in.
I can, because that way I can sleep the rest of the time.
Okay, well, I mean, then let me back up. How long do you guys intend to rest in there?
That's the big thing, right?
Yeah, that's
we don't, we don't need a full period. I would assume. I would think 6 hours.
Yeah, I mean, there's 4 hours for your first to second level spells is basically the bare minimum for resting and getting sleep.
Yeah, I need my third and fourth back though.
Ah, okay.
Yes, I think I need my 3rd level spells as well, so I think we're at kind of the 6 hour.
Okay.
At least.
All right. It's all
Which
good.
means more chances for random encounters.
All right. So, speaking of which, in that first hour, you hear something scratching and snuffling outside the door. Definitely sounds animal. Sniffing, pawing, growling. Anyone doing anything?
Not unless it comes through that door.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm resting. So, does it wake me?
I mean, if you've gone to sleep at this point, you've hit deep sleep. So unless it's like violently beating on the door, it's probably not going to wake you up.
Okay. Yeah, it's not a capybara chewing on my tent, is what you're saying. Okay.
Exactly. It's not a capybara chewing on your tent. Which,
okay.
Which is an adorable mental image because capybaras are the most passive and laid back rodents you could ever you could ever hope to encounter.
And I hear tasty.
I have heard that too, actually. I
haven't tried them.
But I will say this, and this has nothing to do necessarily with their affectionate attitudes or whatever. I'd have to go pretty far to want to eat a rat. So,
well, they're also not nearby, right? They're usually in very, very high places in very, very cold climes. So,
right,
you'd have to go.
You're probably as far away as you could ever be from a capybara.
Granted. Anyway, John Beach asked a question. Did they leave evidence dead bodies behind? Yes, lots. they have not been concealing the body. This is not SEAL Team 6. This is more like Marines at Iwo Jima.
We left charred bodies, barbecued bodies, snake-bitten bodies, stabbed bodies, blood-ridden bodies, and something that looked like hamburger.
Yes. So there are ample bodies lying around, but where the party might have gone. Okay, so there is the only thing that happens during the first hour does not disturb anyone's rest.
Yeah, worst comes to worst, guys. I can just cast silence, and either everything will, something curious will go away, or, well, at least we'll die quietly.
I can sleep with my back to the door. Just kind of hope for the best.
I think we're fine with just leaving it as is. No reason to cast spells to assist. So.
Yeah. Sleeping with your back to the door is one way of keeping watch, that's for sure.
All right, let's see. And I will also point out that silence 15-foot radius. That's only 2 rounds a level, so it would help for a little while.
Yeah, but against a dog or something, it would probably freak them out. Is the point?
Okay. So the next brief while goes by. Let's see. Paul is staying on watch. He is keeping his eyes open and staying alert as he can. Let's see. Does Paul hear anything? Rob Turner. Encounter 12,000 brown recluse spiders. I was actually
give him
by,
ideas.
I was actually bitten by a brown recluse spider in 2003. Remind me to never tell you the story. Because it's pretty.
If it matters, I am a half elf.
Okay. Okay. Those of you who are resting don't see this. Those of you who are still on watch, Paul, with his ear almost perpetually pressed to the door at the... When did this happen? Almost a full hour later, perhaps a little bit more. Paul holds up his hand and clenches his fist. A few rounds go by, and then he nods, and nothing comes looking for you guys.
Alrighty, well, I'll swap shifts on for somebody else and get to sleep.
Alrighty.
Yeah, I would probably, assuming we're about halfway through the watch period, I would probably relieve Paul and whomever else.
I think we're about a third. At least I'd be stopping in the back because I just need 6 hours. So if I assume we're resting for 8, I cover 2, then sleep 6.
In the third hour, in the third quatrain, the Dungeon Delver predicted a random encounter. In the third hour, this is perhaps half an hour later. Dooms, you say you're on watch, right?
Yeah.
Roll a d20, sir.
Well,
12. Okay. You do not initially hear anything. Paul is dozing lightly, but he is leaning up against the door. Something bumps it a couple of times. Something pushes against it. You hear hobgoblin-y voices outside. But they do not enter after a few rounds.
Right. And I'll whisper to Paul, why don't you lay down and get some sleep? I can take this watch. The door is well spiked.
All right. Paul nods, stumbles over, lays down on a couple of grain sacks, and closes his eyes. All right. Everybody tense. Everybody on edge. Okay. And in the next hour, about midway through, Gonzalo, if that lasts for more than 4 hours, consult your physician. Footsteps down the hall, but they do not stop. That was in the 3rd hour. And in the 4th hour.
Fun fact, by the by, I just learned that command does not require line of sight, so if somebody tries to open the door, I can always point at them and tell them to go away.
Well, yeah, remember, it has to be a single word, though. And I am entirely certain in your abilities to do that. Just a quick reminder there.
Oh, yeah. Leave, scram,
Yeah,
and pray.
Yeah. Ixnay on the or day. Orye, oinge, ute, et gay, orisye, in the air, che. Oh, Johnny Dangerously joke there. Okay. So 4 hours have gone by.
He told the
4
joke
times.
once.
Shouldn't have shot me, Johnny. My mother shot me once.
Once.
5 times the door has been approached. And in all instances, nothing has entered the room. Those of you who are attempting to get your 1st and 2nd level spells back, congratulations, nothing has disturbed your rest. You may study for your 1st and 2nd level spells, or if you wish, you may continue to rest for the full 6 hours. Is that your intent, adventurers?
Dundrux's going to get up, and he'll help
Okay.
with the watch after he studies for 15 minutes.
Alrighty.
I'm resting.
Okay, well, nothing comes to disturb you while you study for your 15 minutes, Don Drexel.
Nice. I'll speak to Durek and say if he wishes to sleep, he can. I'll hold watch at the door.
I've slept enough. Thank you.
Okay. Well then, we'll watch together.
Okay,
Indeed.
so again, something comes to the door, tries it briefly, and moves on. This being at the end of the 5th hour. In the 6th hour. In the 6th hour.
Is it the same sound? Or I mean, are they like trying the knob, or they're just sniffing? Is it growling? Is it different than the first?
It is. Most of the time, you can tell it's they're speaking in hobgoblinish
Oh, okay.
and trying the door, or you think hobgoblinish at any rate.
Well, I
At the
speak
top-
hobgoblinish, so
Or- I don't know. Should we check in here? Don't be stupid. They wouldn't look in there. Well, we should at least look in there. All right. Well, let's open it up. It's stuck. Could be locked. I think that's where they keep the pay. And you want to go in and dip in it. Man, we'll get our asses beat. We do that. So a lot of chit chat like that. Bottom of the 6th hour. Bottom of the 6th hour. Okay. There is something scratching at the door, trying to put their shoulder into it and open it. They are not relenting.
this is forceful this time. It's not just trying gets locked and working away. They're
it's
literally
not
slamming
like,
their arm against it or whatever.
It's not like bashing. It's definitely someone pushing. You do not hear any voices, but it is definitely someone or something is trying to force the door.
Don Drexel, why don't you get by the hinge? I shall take the other side. I can
All right.
strike whatever comes through the door if they make it through with the spikes.
I'll
can be ready.
I'll pull my scimitar and can I detect evil through the door or not?
Yes, you can detect evil through the door. You do not detect evil through the door.
Oh, okay. I'll say my sword says it's not evil, and I'm saying this quietly. So
okay, whoever is
We
on
shall
the
see
other
their
side,
intent.
whoever is on the other side of the door, they push against it, push against it, push against it. And the door slowly begins to grind in, and you see a dirty pair of pale hands just inside the door, sort of like reaching in and like trying to feel if there's a lock or something like that, groping along the inside of the door. The door is now open enough that whoever is doing this, you can hear them breathing frantically. What do you guys wish to do?
Who goes there? Who dare interfere with our mission?
All right.
is he holding the door at all, or is he just trying to feel?
Just like basically, it's just somebody shoved their hands inside.
Okay, I'm gonna open the door as quickly as I can.
Okay.
And try not to make noise,
All right.
obviously.
Well, Durek, having spoken to that person, they're not surprised by that. You drag the door open, and on the other side of the door, there is a male elf in like just dirty rags, loincloth kind of thing, frantic look on his face. You kind of drag the door in, and he stumbles in and looks at you all, and it is just stunned by what he sees. Some distance away, you hear the voices of hobgoblins nearby.
Startled hobgoblins, or they're just speaking?
Startled hobgoblins.
Ah, son of a bitch. Okay.
They're coming. No sense in closing this door now.
Yeah, this fellow, like, falls to his knees and says, "If you mean to return me to the slavers, then just kill me now.
We are here to rescue you. Clear the doorway."
He rolls out of the way. He is scrambling out of the way.
Anybody that's not awake, I'll let them know it's time to be awake.
Okay.
Can I tell from which direction in the hall the noise of hobgoblins is coming?
You cannot, however, at this point with the commotion, Paul is on his feet and says, "They're coming from the north. Seems our friend here may have inadvertently led them in by beating on the door." Those of you who were doing the 6-hour rest for additional spells, you've got it. As I said, this happened at the end of the 6 hour, and I presume you were all studying and so on, correct?
Okay, good.
All right. So yeah, this fellow is looking at you all. It's kind of dawning on him that he's probably not about to be killed by you. And he looks at you all and very quickly spits out, "My name is Telengard. I am an escaped slave. I was brought here. My entire village, far up the coast, wiped out. Please, you have to help me.
Stay here if you want to live. I'm going into the hallway.
Okay.
Somebody take my flank if you dare.
Alrighty.
Yeah, I'll come out to help block to keep him from getting in. So I'll follow Dirk out.
I'm going to try and diffuse the situation if at all possible, so I'll follow.
Okay. Let me... Oh, I should have cleaned up my corpses, but there they are, just the same. Let me go
There'll be
ahead.
new ones. You probably can leave them.
Let me go over there and set up the folks coming after you and the miniatures. For those of you guys watching for the first time, we do enjoy having our Dwarven Forge and our miniatures out on the table, and I hope it's something you guys will enjoy also. So let's see. Let me get over. Hang on just a moment.
Please don't murder the hobo, Tom.
This violence will not stand, man.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't just hack him.
The aggression will not stand.
Yeah, it just seemed to me he was kind of somewhat trying, not really. That's why I was worried maybe he's not evil. He wasn't a hobgoblin who would just smash, right? So.
Yeah, and he wasn't speaking. He wasn't, making like undead noises or anything like that. But you never know what it could be.
Yeah, absolutely. Could be a doppelganger, right? Or it could be a BBS, since his name is Telengard.
Could be. A shapeshifter. You never know.
Yeah, I mean, the other day that we found this guy that was a bunny rabbit for a little while.
It worked, didn't it?
Oh, I didn't say it was stupid. It definitely worked.
Only a half elf? I suppose I could do the Russian accent, but it's a half elf. I don't know if that's really necessary.
It was good.
I always liked in the Rankin Bass Hobbits when they made the elves German. just because it's different.
Yeah, no issue with that.
Oh man, we missed it. We had the perfect opportunity to tell the slave we found they had a chance to fight for their right.
Two-party?
Exactly. You guys were.
Well, he has to join the party first.
Ah, okay.
So there's what, 3 of us out in the hallway, I guess?
Correct.
Yes, it's us 3.
Yeah.
Just as a general game plan, I am going to try and cast command first. Unless there's like 30 of them, and then I'm not going to bother. But if there's just like 2, you know.
Yeah, we don't know the count yet. I will state that I heard them speaking, and they're definitely hobgoblins, or something that speaks hobgoblin as their common.
If their intelligence is 13 or higher, they get a save. I don't think they have 6 or more hit dice, so they don't get a save. You know, so with any luck, I might be able to at least get 1 to, surrender or something.
Okay, so gentlemen, here is the tactical situation, or if you would just like to feel your way through it, the tactile situation. That is about a bird's eye view, or a rat's eye view, as you guys have got. Blue cloak over there on the right indicates where Durek and Paul are standing. Kevin, is your character, is Don Drexel in the front line, or is he to the rear?
I was intending to block the hallway off so they couldn't get past us to the slave and our other companions. So I'm guessing him in the front.
All right.
Since absolutely, my holder will definitely not be in the front, right? So.
Right.
I mean, I can be in the front, but I will not be offensive. I will be ducking behind a shield like something out of a Saturday morning cartoon and screaming like a little girl.
Yeah, that would not serve.
Well,
so
this seems like a perfect opportunity for a web spell. So I'd like to be someplace I can cast that, if at all possible.
I was going to ask you, Tim, if you were going out there to do that. So.
I don't think I'm even gonna have to cast anything if you're just gonna web them. I mean,
well, keep in mind I have 2 web spells too. So, but I'll let the magic user do it since that's all he does is cast. So.
Okay.
I'll keep my hands in my pockets.
Quick, and for tactical sake, I will put Tim's mini out there. We certainly don't want anything misconstrued, so we'll shift over to there real quick and. Let me add my smiling face to this one also. But you know what they say, and I'm sure everybody gets this. By the time the Dungeon Master smiles, it's already too late. All right, so I will put Tim's mini out there, and then we will proceed apace. Hang on a second.
One lonely magic user I be. Sorry, it was a Beastie Boys kind of day.
Okay, adventurers, you knew they were coming. You do not have to worry about rolling surprise. They are a little bit more surprised, so possibly let us see how surprised they might or might not be.
No need to roll, Bill. I already know. They're very surprised.
They are. You guys basically have a full segment of surprise. Any missile weapons being thrown by the party. Anyone? Okay.
Powerful words involving phrases like "please go away."
Okay. You are attempting parlay. That is effectively a very short thing to do. You're not going the full, I am a servant of the secret fire, wielder of the flame of honor, so you can get that out. We will treat that as a parlay attempt. They are unmoved by your words. They grin hideously and draw their weapons and proceed to march forward.
Well, I tried.
Nope. That is perfectly fine. However, again, that is your action in the surprise segment that you guys have. Dooms, what is Durek doing in the surprise segment?
Well, I want to fill that gap between them and attack. I just want to make sure that door is clear. So
that's fine. They walk around the corner to where you were standing. I know we don't much go into into a lot of, oh, you're exactly this many grid squares back, but you are within, just stepping out the door and then coming around the corner puts you in melee range. So you may you may attempt to hack at one. Tim, you are beginning the casting of web from Elminar. Kevin, what of Don Drexel?
If he's moving up, I'm moving up. So I'll lockstep with him and attack the next guy over.
Okay, refusing your right flank, you have good Sir Paul, who is also moving up. And in the back, of course, with his battle cry of not in the face, not in the face, you have Holder. So you guys have that segment of surprise. Go ahead and make your attack dooms for Durek. That is going to
10.
Yeah, that is going to miss. Kevin, you're striking.
Yeah, I only get one attack, but I just question, if you have multi attacks like 3 every 2, is it 1 and then 2, or is it 2 then 1?
It is 1 2 1 2 1 2.
Okay, yeah, that's the way I normally play. So okay, not that it matters for me, because it does not.
Okay.
Let me roll.
No, it's a perfectly fine question.
We're at +3. And I got a 20.
That will absolutely hit.
All
Roll
right.
some damage.
And these guys, regardless of their size, they're taking 1 to 8.
Correct.
And they're taking 7 this time.
Okay, you cut one of them down. Let me just do this real quick. So let's see. That is too many. All right. So you cut one of them down. Paul laughs and begins to sing an old Sewell battle song. It is very grim sounding.
Perfect.
But it is not apparently inspirational enough. He rears back and then winces, holding a bandage on his side, unable to complete his follow through. That concludes the surprise round. Now, let's look at spell casting times for web. Tim, do you know how many segments web is?
Hang on a second, I can tell you.
I feel like it's a 2-segment spell.
I think you're right.
If it is a second level, and it is, that almost... All right, so your web spell goes in the first segment of this round. So you are completing casting web. Durek, you're meleeing. Kevin, you're meleeing. Paul is meleeing. Is there anything going on with you, Holder? Is Holder still trying to de-escalate, or at this point is he just hoping for the best?
How many are there? Do I know?
Well, there's one got cut down, and you see another one just leap over his fallen body. So there were at least 4. But
okay.
You can see others behind them kind of trying to push forward. So there's probably more yet.
So
no, I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to waste a sticks to snakes here or anything like that.
All right. Yes, yes, Tim.
John Beach has a question about dying at 0 HP because it is different in different editions. So you might want to clear that up for him on first.
Yes, and that's a good question. Thank you, Tim, for catching that. We use the AD&D rule of unconscious at 0, bleeding out from 1 to -2. So basically, if you have 4 hit points and you are struck for 4 points of damage, you are unconscious, bleeding out, you're going to wind up comatose for an hour and out of the fight for a week. If you take 5 points of damage, that is, if you're reduced to -3, you're dead, or lower. Let's say you took 10 points of damage, you're dead on the spot. That's it, the end. But if you're just reduced to 0, you are only unconscious. You can be healed up, brought back onto your feet, and gotten back into the fight, potentially. So it's at -1 that you start bleeding out. Now, if you get knocked to -1 or -2 and start bleeding out, you don't die until -10. But if you're knocked to -3 or lower in a single blow, then you're finished. And if you're at -1 and you're unconscious on the ground and a monster decides to hack you again, he basically coup de graces you, and that's the end of you. I've heard of a lot of DMs who do negative con. I may use that in a D&D game someday. All right, so gentlemen, we have our actions. Let us begin the begin. Please roll initiative if you would, Doomsword. A 3, a perfectly cromulent roll, a nice average roll, and more than enough to beat. So, swords are coming out, web is going off, and Tim, are you anchoring it straight across? Are you doing corner to corner? How you doing?
Corner to corner is a good.
So, all right, so you're taking the angle. That is going to mean that, wow, I have got quite a number that are going to need to make their saving throws. And saving throw versus web, guys, particularly when it's indoor, means turns of being trapped versus rounds of being trapped versus turns of being trapped. So this is not a save for half kind of thing. So we'll start front rank, left to right. First guy does not save. He will be webbed for a number of turns. Middle guy, he doesn't see it coming at all. He just looks over and sees you, Spidey, one of his friends, and doesn't even think to dodge. On the far right flank, he's a little bit more adroit, but not enough. He is webbed. In the rear, again, left to right.
Sticky.
Spider Tim. You better not fight him. And last. Yes, none of them make their save. 6 of them are now completely webbed.
Oh, man.
Does whatever a Spider Tim does.
Magic users come in handy, man. What can I say?
That's not even the best thing about web, right? The best thing is the suffocation. That's the best thing.
Yes, every turn. This is an oft overlooked point of view, folks. Every turn, creatures caught in a web have a 5% cumulative chance of sucking web material into their mouth and nose and dying from suffocation. So, if the web spell lasts long enough, you've got a guaranteed instant death spell if it lasts long enough.
The only spell better would be instant owlbear or something. I don't know.
Well, I think monster summoning 6, 5 may actually get you an owlbear, but that's a ways off, barring finding a ring of spell storing or a scroll. Which I don't know. I may take pity on you one day, Tim, and have you find a scroll that'll let you summon monster owlbear. All right. So they don't save. They are now enwebbed. Those of you up front can see that they're in webs, so you don't have to. You don't have to swing your weapons if you don't want to. But what do you wish to do? Want to step up and finish them off, or what? Tonka Todd, good to see you.
Go make breakfast.
Stab
I'm gonna queue off of Durek.
Okay.
As I know his situation is less flexible than mine, but if he goes in, I'm going in. If he stays back, then we'll hold back for a little bit.
Okay.
And I'll let Paul know the same.
All right. So I guess it comes down to Durek's actions. What is Durek doing? You're muted if you're talking to us, by the way, Dooms.
Yeah. I'm. I'm gonna wait, I suppose, and see what everybody else is doing. I certainly don't want to get my sword.
Well, I'm not doing anything
stuff.
if he's not doing anything. Well, I'm not doing anything.
Yeah, I mean, somebody might light this whole thing ablaze or something. But I don't want to get my sword stuck in this stuff and all that.
Sure.
I mean, that assumes that there's nobody that can make their way forward. If they do, I'll attack them.
So Kevin, you speak Hobgoblin, correct?
I do, yeah.
You hear one of the Hobgoblins screaming, "Go for help, you fools!"
Okay. There's people behind them. They're yelling at somebody to go for help. There must be somebody back there that didn't get caught.
Yes.
No, I figured there might be.
Paul.
We heard several groups pass.
Paul has in the interim gotten a torch out and says, "To hell with this for a game of soldiers," and throws his torch in.
I'll back up and grab my popcorn.
Okay. All right.
Make way for the reinforcements.
And every hobgoblin in the web becomes extremely sleepy and decides to have a nap underneath some ashes on the floor. Yeah, they die horribly. The webs are crisped and burned away, and so are the hobgoblins. Their fur goes aflame. Their harness and any goods they had all. There is a loud, just like hellfire as air is sucked in for the moments of conflagration. They scream, but it's very brief. And now the way is clear.
It's kind of stinky, but it's clear.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
I'm going to look around the corner to see if anybody's standing back there.
Let's see.
Don Drexel's going to do that. Obviously, it's not me.
Yeah.
But my character.
It is you.
No, Bill. The way is not clear. The way is shut. It was made by those who are dead.
Very good. All right. Yes, there are two hobgoblins waiting there. They are not surprised, and they are rearing back to throw javelins at you, Don Drexel. So it's a new combat round. Don Drexel, what do you wish to do?
I'm going to cast web on those stupid bastards.
All right. As we know, that's a 2-segment spell. I love it to pieces. You guys see Don Drexel look around the corner, and then he raises his hands and starts to gesticulate and utter the ancient words of Spider-Man, Spider-Man, webs will come out from my hands. Are they gonna catch those guys? I will trap them just like flies.
Pretty good, Bill. I gotta give you credit for that one.
All right. So Dooms, what is Dirk doing? You hear the spell going on, or getting ready to go on?
Yeah, I'm gonna walk around the corner and try to take a position to where I can be somewhat protective to Don Drexel.
Okay. Behind you, you hear the voice of what you presume is Telengard. You can actually see Telengard stepping out of the room, looking at the massacre that's going on, and he goes, "You really are great." So let's see. Tim, how about Elminar?
I'm going to come up behind and see how the web spell goes here in a second.
Okay.
But we'll leave it at that for a moment.
Yeah. Paul is likewise stepping around the corner. And finally, what is Holder doing?
This is an official pause in the fight, right?
Yes, we are basically between combats.
Okay.
So it's okay for you to quick save.
Yes, I'm going to go ahead and take this opportunity and cast Bless.
Alrighty. Let's go ahead and roll initiative. And Tim, it is your turn. Give us a D6 roll, please.
D6. Let me find
They got
it
a
here.
4.
I
Party
tied
got a
you.
4. It is tied. Your spell goes on segment 6, which means they each have a chance to throw a javelin at. Let's see. Both of those miss. Web spell goes off. And I got a 15. The 15 I'll have to double check. The 15 might save.
It doesn't look like the dice are showing in the display, Bill.
Oh, right. I'm sorry, I don't have it added. But I can do that. What is it? Let's see. Let's go back to our tripod cam there, and let's add. Alrighty, and we can have our dice. Whoops. Or I can just grab the whole table. We can have our
Flip
dice
it quick.
Yeah. All right, but I did not successfully save with either one of those, so they are webbed. Bless goes off, and oddly enough, nothing comes looking for you guys after this fracas. You have 2 of them webbed. Yeah, I didn't realize that there, William, but thank you, everyone who caught that. So they are they're fully enmeshed in webs. Spell of table flip +2 to dex. There you go.
Can I
and
abort?
welcome Matt Bauer.
Oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was gonna say, can I abort my spell?
I mean, you'll lose it.
Nah, I'll just cast it then.
It lasted
Alright.
quite a while, so
Yeah, bless is not a bad spell.
We must make haste, though. Paul,
Yes.
in
Okay.
the corner if you have another
6
4.
melee rounds.
All right, he
Do I
chats.
do I have my lay on hands back, Bill?
No, it has not been a full day.
Okay, so we got somewhere around 6 hours left, I think. We were at like 12. I can't remember exactly.
Well, you used lay on hands in the initial assault.
Right.
And then you guys rested for 6 hours. So yeah, you've actually got the better part of a full day. You've got like 18 hours left before it comes back.
Okay.
Yes. So Holder holds up his hands. If you want my blessing and you need to be holy. All right. You guys are under the effect of a bless.
Now we have Rod Stewart.
you know, if you keep that up, Weird Al's going to give you a call.
Right. Remember, guys, a gentleman is a man who can play the accordion but chooses not to.
So Weird Al's a rough man as opposed to a gentleman?
Well, it could be. I remember the Far Side cartoon. It was like, welcome to heaven, here's your harp. Welcome to hell, here's your accordion. All right, so you have enmeshed these, blessed the party. For the next 6 rounds, you guys fight at a +1, and they fight at a -1, or any opponents that come along in the next 6 rounds will fight at a -1. So, what do you guys wish to do? They are yelling their heads off.
Only for a few seconds.
Yeah.
I'm going to run up there and see. While I'm running, I'm going to look around the area that they're in to see if I see additional figures fleeing or arriving, for that matter.
Okay. I will give you a better view if you will give me just a moment with the cameras.
If I was a rough man, la 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 la.
By the by, my favorite version of that Fiddler on the Roof. Well, my favorite version of that song from on the Roof is "If I Were a Deep One."
If I were a deep one, I haven't
If
heard
you
that. I'll have to look on YouTube.
I am not even going to ask any questions about this.
Please do, because the la la sequence is blah 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 blah.
You want to have some real fun? Look on YouTube for Write Faster George R.R. Martin.
Faster, faster.
They refer to him as the Great Bearded Glacier. It's a really nice little folk song, but it kind of like gets funnier and funnier as it goes along about how slow he's writing.
Okay,
And
so
it came out before the HBO show ended, so it's
okay. Tell me I'm wrong here, but did your brain go to Master of Puppets too, with "Obey Your Master"? Like, write faster.
No, but that would be a good one. I'm gonna have to think about that one.
Santa Fe, your lies.
I got the chance to annoy my kids today with music. I was picking them up in my new car and rolled down the windows with Pac-Man Fever on really loud.
That would probably annoy your kids. It would definitely annoy me.
Had the entire middle school looking at me like, what? And some of the teachers like, that's cool.
I do find it quite not so humorous that a lot of the songs that were played incessantly back then that weren't, let's say they weren't all that popular overall, are the ones everybody remembers.
Pac-Man Fever, man. It's awesome. And Weird Al, I mean, Weird Al, how do you get better than Weird Al? He had a song called White and Nerdy that had Donny Osmond in it in the music video, for God's sake. I mean, come on.
You can't make fun of Saint Al. I'm sorry. It's just that dude is the best entertainer, period.
Well, White and Nerdy was my anthem as a kid.
I want to send like a petition to the NFL for next year's halftime show to be Weird Al.
He's too good for them. I'm sorry.
All right. Apparently one camera is deciding to not work tonight, but hey, we deal with our technical issues. All right, so Kevin, you have moved up to the two webbed hobgoblins. You do not see anyone lurking around. What do you wish to do to them?
Well, I'm here. I'm with dispatch.
I'm perfectly happy to stab them with a dagger. I mean,
the problem is meleeing webbed beings means that you could get stuck in the webs too.
Right,
yeah,
but
okay.
that doesn't mean I can't do something like just light a match, or its equivalent.
Yes, yeah, you can take out a torch, or even just if you want to use like your tinder box and dump its contents on them. Roll 2d6.
All right. This is going to hurt you much more than it hurts me.
Of that, they have no doubt.
8.
They are, I believe the Boston market term, may rest in peace, was they are broasted. So yeah, the good news is they don't suffocate. So, having no further business in the mortal plane, they shuffle off their coils and then go to Buffalo. Or hell, as the case may be. I will leave that up to residents of or fans or detractors of New York to determine if those mean the same thing. They are deceased, and their screams of agony
Somebody noticed?
It would seem that something did notice. It would seem that something did. And what might it have been? Well, I guess we'll have to see.
Ruprecht.
No giant weasels.
Glad somebody else knows what Ruprecht is.
Brother. Yes, Ruprecht. May I go to the bathroom? Of course, Ruprecht.
Dirty Rotten Scoundrels.
A fantastic movie. Really underrated. All right. So you hear the rush of hobbed boots very nearby. Actually, the door off to the right is flying open. Kevin, you are... you've got a pretty high dex, don't you?
I have a decent dex.
What is your dex?
My dex is 16.
You are not surprised. I could have figured that. As the door to the north flies open, they're not surprised. They heard their companions screaming in agony, so they figured something was wrong. So the door opens and a couple of hobgoblins rush out. What do you wish to do?
All right, how close are they?
Again, map adjustment coming.
Bill's getting his steps in today.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the only thing about the setup that I wish we could fine tune, but it would require like him to sit in like the middle of a big U-shaped table or something.
He could be like the piano player in Star Wars.
Yeah.
And he could wear that costume.
Whenever I do full terrain for D&D, I pretty much always end up having the terrain on the main table and then everything that's mine on a side table. So, because it's the only way it all fits on the table.
So it's kind of like Thanksgiving with the adults table and the children's table, is what you're saying?
Yeah, except for the children's table is like just my laptop and like my dice and maybe a book.
How many laptops? Just one?
I own 2, but I typically only use just one.
It's hard to use more than one at once.
No, I'm just being silly because I run a software group, so I have a PC and a Mac because you have to test things on both just to make sure nobody screwed up going from one to the other.
That's true.
Not that people would, not that those make a difference, but they make a difference.
It does.
Which is why I put as much computational stuff as I can in the cloud so nobody can jack it up.
Just the cloud.
Well, yeah. It is what it is, as they say.
Yeah.
Sorry, we nerded up the show while you were gone, Bill. We were talking.
Oh, no, not nerd stuff.
We promised that you were going to put yourself in the middle of the terrain like the piano player in Star Wars and wear that costume.
Size Snoodles, you mean?
Yes, I guess. It's funny how those names came about, right?
Yes.
They didn't get named in Star Wars. They got named by the company that produced the figures.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
And it's funny how we all remember the name of Size Noodles.
All right. So, by the way, I did put this up. I wanted to answer it. Marcus, yes, Zeus is very much mended. I would say if he was a 5 out of 100 the day of the crisis, then he's back at like a 90% now. So thank you very, very much for asking. All right, so let me flip over to the camera. So that is what you see coming out of that door to the north. And you see this as well. basically anyone who wanted to follow around to the corner, you guys see a group of hobgoblins rushing out of the door. As I said, they are not surprised, so let's get decorations if we could. Kevin, since you're up there, what do you wish to do?
I'm going to attack the one to my right.
All right, so you're going to
So there's three surrounding me, and then there's a few more beyond the door, right?
No.
Who's to the right of me is...
Okay, so hang on.
It looks like they're down at the end of the hallway.
So am I.
Yeah.
This is you.
Oh, okay. I thought it was further down. Okay.
So if we pause here for a second, I can shoot a lightning bolt down there and try to fry some stuff.
Is it going to bounce off the wall back to us?
Most assuredly.
It will absolutely ricochet and hit you guys.
Ah!
I do have another web spell.
So I could do that as well, but yeah.
Okay, well, why don't I let you do it, and I'll just I'm going to gesture for them to come forward, with their friendly burned corpses in front of me.
Not to break out my protractor, but what if you ran to that forward corner and angled it?
Okay.
Where that T intersection of the hallway, right?
That way
that
it would
middle
go back into the room, is what you're
hallway
saying?
on the right. Yeah, kinda. Not to break out my protractor, but I don't know. My inner billiard players, like, maybe you could bounce it off that opposite corner and
now let's just web it.
You don't go up there, dude, because you're squishy.
All right. So Tim is gonna web. Don Drexel, you're gesticulating. Dooms, how about Durek?
Yeah. I'm gonna assume that he has a lot of control over that web spell, as he did before, and I'm gonna charge that front guy on the right. See if I can't get a swing on it beforehand.
Charge with a capital C.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Paul is going to stand and cover the squishy folk while that's going on. Now, this is something we actually discussed on the live stream about the execution of charges. I had always been doing it slightly wrong, but not terribly wrong. We still roll initiative, but the determination of who strikes first in a charge goes to the foeman with the longer weapon. And in this particular case, I think your longsword is longer than their scimitar. So you will actually instabulate him before his scimitar goes. But we still need to roll initiative. Kevin, roll initiative, please.
All right. Here we go. 6.
A 6.
Oh, come on.
Okay. So your web spell goes off in the 8th segment. Because it is a 2-segment spell, Tim. They can cover 18 feet in those intervening 2 segments, so they can move forward about to the corner. I've lost my wooden pointer. I apologize if anyone cannot see the red dot, and hell, I can barely see the red dot on screen.
Hold on, my cat's attacking the screen.
So let me go ahead and move them to where they will be when your web spell goes off. It won't really avail them because of the area that your web spell covers. Will still get them. It's not like, cone of cold or fireball or anything where, they moved out. Nope. Hang on.
I don't think it'll necessarily matter, but I will be protesting vigorously and, begging for them to come to their senses and either surrender or flee.
I want everybody to realize he said vigorously and not vigorously. He's not paying anybody off here.
I mean, at this point, it is kind of half-hearted in the sense of, like, I'm talking to somebody who's already being stabbed, you know?
Well, do you speak their language?
No, and that's what makes it even funnier.
Yeah, so they just smile and eat their Vegemite sandwich.
Pretty much, yeah.
Like, likely.
My character firmly believes in making the attempt, regardless of whether or not I can succeed.
No, I get you.
Do you like my sword blade and you think it's pretty?
Now
Sorry,
me
now I
watch
have-
me
Go for
stab
that
you
guy in the
now.
back.
Now I have Rod Stewart in my head and I can't get out of it.
All right, and by the way, you guys are still under the effect of a bless spell. Dooms, you close with your charge. Your longsword goes before them. Go ahead and make your longsword attack on the one that you charged.
All right.
Thank you, Alan. Thank you very much. We enjoy it. The game, that is. You just lost the game.
Oh,
All right.
AC.
So adding +2, +3, +4 becomes a 9. I think that only hits AC 7.
That's correct.
So that I'm about to spit that, and I don't know if I'm 100% right. So let me see.
I looked it up, Bill. It's a hit. I promise, it's a hit.
Yeah, you got the tables right there, Tim. All right. Well, Tim, as a guy who's done engineering, dual control is very important in these situations. Let me just, unfortunately, that will not hit.
Hey, I took a shot. What can you...
Matt Bauer, thank you very much. I'm glad you've been enjoying it, sir. I'm glad you've been enjoying it. Like I say, I think we do. I think we've got a pretty good little show here. I think we have a little bit of fun out here, and I like to share it with you guys. I could wax on about the current mindset regarding the state of DTRPG on Twitter, but I'm not going to. We're here to have fun. All right, so that will miss. Kevin, web goes off. Tim, web goes off. You are 10 by 20 with your web, correct?
Yes, sir.
Alrighty, so there are a bunch of spells. All right.
You got to roll a ton of saving throws here.
I do, and none of those are successful. I should have done them separately for not successful.
Oh.
For those of you who may have better but still not successful, who may have never played first edition AD&D, all monsters, for simplicity's sake, save as fighters of a level of equivalent hit dice. So a 10 hit dice monster would save as a 10th level fighter, and so on, unless the monster, quote unquote, in question is denoted as being a character of the appropriate class. Therefore, a bandit leader or rather a cleric with a group of bandits would save on the cleric table. And here we go with the last saving throw. And yes, you have webbed all 6 of them. So let's see. Gentlemen, they are webbed. It is the end of the round. What are you doing, Dooms? You have moved up. They are webbed.
I suppose I'll make way for somebody to light them ablaze.
Okay.
Fire! Fire!
All right.
Fire!
So your handy dandy hireling Paul is digging in his pack for a flask of oil to lob. That is what he's doing in this round. Kevin, how about Don Drexel?
Well, I mean, I don't need redemption, so yeah, I'm gonna do the same as I did last time.
All right, just step aside and let the barbecue commence.
Yes, I'm gonna.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, and how about
Feel
Holder?
so warm.
Thane, how about Holder? You're muted if you're talking.
No, I'm not. I'm not doing anything. My verbal protests have, I believe, have gone unheeded. I don't know if you heard my comments about that previously.
I did not. I think I was arranging the table. I mean, I know you're trying to de-escalate, and I get that. I'm not just stomping on your character.
Oh no, not at all, not at all. But it's one of those moments where it's like, hey, wait, you should run, and they're already being stabbed.
Okay.
Right.
All
So
right.
I'm trying. It's just I know it's fruitless.
Okay. Parlay is not always fruitless. I mean, it there's definitely times when it can actually have a positive effect. But
you can come
just
warm your heart by the fire now.
Yes. Monsters roasting on a magic fire. All right. Let's go ahead and roll initiative, and it is actually your turn, if you would, TK. I got a 4. It's fruitless when the GM has a. Hey, no.
Okay. My go, right?
Yes, please.
That's what I thought. Okay.
A
Got you
5. Okay, you did get me beat. All right. So Paul fishes out a flask of oil, and he is preparing to throw it for the next round. The rest of you guys are waiting for that, correct?
Yes. Seeing that he's throwing a flask of oil, I'd like to just back up the success if possible.
Okay. Okay. Whoops. There we go. All right, so that happens at the end of the round. Yada, yada, yada. He is... what level is Elminar, please?
6.
6th level. All right. Oh, I just could have done this. All right. From the back of the group, from around the webs, you hear sort of a loud barking guttural incantation. And Kevin, Don Drexel is close enough that you recognize it's Hobgoblin calls out, "Great Furred One, I ask your power. Remove this, so we may slay in your name forevermore. Amen."
Figured that was coming.
Okay.
He's trying to dispel the webs, guys.
Vroom, the webs vanish. The hobgoblins are looking at their hands, and then they lean forward. They're like inches away from you, Don Drexel, and they just they go.
I'll smile back because es macht's nicht.
Okay. So they have had web dispelled from them. They will be fighting in the next round. Thank you for sticking around with us, Jorge. Let's get declarations. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Is that person visible?
Well, you can see the many.
Yeah, I mean, you can see someone in the back raised his paws and barked that command out, and boom, dropped the web spell. So yeah, there's somebody back there.
So and he wasn't in the web. Just to make it clear.
He was not in the web.
Yeah,
no.
he was not in the web. So
Okay.
So I'm out of web spells, so
I have a web spell.
I'm gonna hit him with a silence.
All right. Cylon's 15-foot radius. Silence!
silence.
All right. The front three are going to fight Don Drexel and you if they can. there, Dooms, and you are getting missile fire in that you hear behind you, Paul yells, "Oh, shit!" Duck your heads, Captain! And is going to be throwing something. Tim, what are you doing?
I'm out of web spells, so the best I've got at this point is magic missile.
All right.
Wouldn't cause any harm to any of my comrades in arms here, so
Correct.
I'm going to use my magic missile spell.
You're getting 3 missiles. Are you spreading them out or focusing on one?
I'm going to focus on one.
Alrighty, let's go ahead and roll initiative. We are back around to Doomsword.
Ugh.
I got a 3, so here we go. This is going to be a couple of blows at, these are going to be hacking, actually at Don Drexel, because they saw what you did.
All right, AC1.
It matters not. Put together, they didn't come close to you.
Aww.
And
Nice.
that one.
No, I don't think that one hit me.
Okay, so, missile fire from the party. A 12. Okay, so Paul. Oh, Paul, do we have a little hot oil throwing music, Paul? Paul Schaefer, ladies and gentlemen. If you're of a certain age, you know the reference. Let's see. So that is a 12. That is a 12. And from Paul the fighter, he hits one of them. Now, these are medium. You are medium. There are one more of them than there are of you. You should really do this on percentile dice. So that is... yes, he does hit his target, and that hobgoblin screeches in pain as he is enveloped in oil. Yeah, just the middle hobgoblin is on fire, and he doesn't like it. But he doesn't like it not for long. Behind that group, let me see if that's a thing. All right. Are you hitting the same group with web spell again, Kevin?
No, I'm attacking. I'm not spellcasting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I have a web, but I'm going to save it for now.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. I'm just sabering, or I guess scimitaaring.
All right, so... Yeah, he's not bothering with that. All right, he's not going to do anything this round. He's yelling in Hobgoblish. Go! Kill them! Kill them all! Take their heads. Mount them on the wall. There you go. There, Gonzalo knows what a time it is. Gonzalo knows what time it is. And thank you for the super, Gonzalo. All right. Let's see. Tim, blast one of these fools with some magic missiles.
Nice.
That is absolutely sufficient to take a second one down. There are now 4 Hobgoblin warriors up front. So go ahead and make your attack, if you would, there, Keterino.
Durek's up there too, right?
Oh, wait, and I want initiative, so... Oh, I've already attacked you. I'm sorry, what am I doing? Yes, yeah. Durek... Blah, blah. Dooms, have Durek attack. That will miss.
Another 9.
And Don Drexel.
Okay, let's see what happens. It's 12.
And a 12, your chart would be Thiefly.
So it's AC 7.
AC 7, that will miss.
Yep.
All right.
Oh, wait, but I got Bless. So it's AC 6.
Let's see. Unfortunately, still misses his,
damn
his little rondelle he's got. Just manages. I'm sorry. Help me out here, Thane. Is it rondelle or rondache when we're talking about a small shield?
If you're referring to the Spanish shield, anything that is small to large, really, that is round, is a rondelle. That's really all it means.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. So, yes, he turns it with his small buckler. How about that? Instead of me being all high and fancy.
Well, like, to give you an idea, the discs on, like, a rondelle dagger, right? The guard and the pommel, those are also called rondelles, and they're only about maybe 2 inches around.
Is it a round thing? Then we call it rondelle.
Look, that's the way the medieval world worked. It was great. It's like, why? It's like, is it a great sword? No, it's a sword. Is it a long sword? No, it's a sword. But what? No, it's a sword. I'm going to point to it and say sword. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
I was having a discussion with this. English is the only language. This is funny. It's a little relevant. English is the only language where you can use a different word 3 times in a row to indicate one thing, and each word is spelled differently but sounds the same. If you say, go open those doors, and someone says, door 1 and door 3, you can say to them, 2, 2, 2. I want you to go to door 2 also, 2, 2, 2. It's the only language that does that.
That's like my favorite sentence in English is just buffalo, 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 buffalo.
That's a good one. That's a classic.
Doctor.
All right,
Doctor?
so
Doctor.
Linguistic fun aside,
It's not just English, though, by the way, Bill. Because if you look at, like, names in the UK, right, a mountain might be named mountain 4 times in 4 different languages.
oh yeah, that was it Torpenhall?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yep.
The name literally means hill, 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 hill.
Yes. But now that's English. Because that's an English word now.
Yes.
Right?
So
None of
there you
those
go.
are English
Yeah.
words. So it's hilarious.
I'm going up on Torpenhall. You want me to open doors 1 and 3? 2, 2, 2. All right. So next round, gentlemen, melee attacks. At this point in this round, Paul will be moving up to melee with you. Tim, got any more magic missile spells you wish to employ?
Absolutely.
All right. Spreading out or focusing on?
I think focusing's working out pretty good for me.
Right on, right on. Got the narrow beam phaser attack for all you Starfleet Battles fans out there. Kevin, you scimitaaring?
I am definitely scimitaaring, yes.
Okay. Dooms, I'm guessing you're meleeing?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's roll initiative. And Tim, it is your turn, please.
Important question, Bill.
Yes, yes.
Did my silence go off?
Oh, your silence spell. Yes, your silence spell went off. Cylon's 15-foot radius, and I don't believe there's a save on that. It just happens.
As far as I am aware, let's see here.
It's area of effect, man.
Area,
It's
Saving
quiet
throw none.
ball.
Yeah.
You cast quiet ball.
And it'll last until the combat's over, basically. I mean, 14 rounds? Yeah.
If it was
correct.
Ray of Silence, you'd have a save.
Yes.
Or you'd have to hit one of the two, right?
All right. So you guys got a 1 on initiative. I got a 2 on initiative. So here we go. Paul has just moved up. He will not get an attack in this round. He will be attacked in this round, however. Unsuccessfully, I might add. This sword swing is brought to you by the Delver's Dungeon, and it is aimed at Doomsword's character, Durek. I have completely struck out tonight. That is a miss. And last and not least,
Still missed.
I haven't done a single fig of damage to you guys tonight.
Well, that one might have done damage to the enemy next to the guy swinging the sword.
Yeah, exactly. Winds up and clips his friend in the air. Hey, if we were playing Rollmaster, there would be a chance of that happening. But thank God we're not, because
treat them like gully dwarves. They accidentally stab each other once in a while.
Thank goodness we're not, because God knows this fight would take until sometime next year.
How many charts do you have to look it up to find the effect?
All of them. All right, so let's see. Party counterattacks, please. Doomsword, starting with you.
Is the bless still in effect?
No, bless is no longer in effect.
Okay.
That
AC
will hit.
4.
That will handily hit.
Six points of damage.
That dispatches him. 3 bugbears remain. Kevin.
All right. 22.
That hits him.
All right.
I
And
think you can pick which body part you stab when you roll a 22.
3 points of damage.
He is actually
The big
still
toe.
up. Tim.
Pinky toe. Yeah.
Put some warhead on forehead. Bring some energy to enemy.
9.
Even without adding the +3, that would have erased this guy. He is undone. I'm going to remove some miniatures here just so our audience can kind of get an idea. Hang on a second.
We're cleaning out some house between this week and last week, man. It's like a one-sided slaughter.
It's a house of hobgoblins, apparently.
One-sided slaughter, brother.
Yeah, we'll take it. It's a lot easier to fight them here, though.
It's fair.
Here, their numbers count for nothing.
Yep.
Ooh, he's coming in.
We're down to
Well,
3.
He can't currently cast, so...
Yeah, I expected this idiot to run.
We outnumber them.
Okay. So that is pretty much what we've got. I'm going to say, let's see. I have missed all you guys. So it's a new round. I'm guessing melees across the board. This fellow has stepped forward, and he is holding up a rune etched into a piece of slate. And he is looking at you, Durek, and his yellow eyes narrow and his yellow teeth are bared, and he begins to growl something gutturally at you. Melees across the board. Paul will attack. Durek, do you want to attack the unholy man? What do you want to do?
If I can get to him, I will certainly.
Yeah, there are 3 across. He has left the Cylon's 15-foot radius. But he's not casting. You feel a bit of unease as he approaches you. Tim, you got anything left in the bag?
I do. I have 2 more magic missiles I can use, so I'll use one of them.
Okay. Any particular one, or just targeting, just kind of let them fly?
I'm just going to let them fly.
Okay. And for our good resident pacifist cleric, what are you doing there?
I did my job. I'm good.
Yeah, fair enough. Negotiations broke down. This is no place for a diplomat. Battlefields for the soldiers. And by the way, in case anyone thinks that's terribly an unusual thing to have in a combat fantasy role-playing game, the clerics who can cast healing spells in Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay can never engage in combat, ever. If they do, they lose all their powers. So this is not out of the realm, guys. This is not completely out of pocket. But let's go ahead and roll initiative. And Kevin, it is your turn.
Okay, let's see what happens. 6, of
6.
course.
Much better than I did.
5.
We win.
We lost.
Oh, the colors are reversed.
Yeah.
Dooms, this guy, he says an evil prayer in his tongue and like leans forward, pushing his symbol of Maglubiet at you. You feel just a faint unease, but he does not make you run away. That is a thing in first edition AD&D, boys and girls. Game masters, take a note. Evil clerics can turn paladins. It can happen. But he does not make you go away. So, I have an attack going on. Finally, Don Drexel.
Thanks. AC1.
Take 5 points of damage.
Okay, so we did not sleep the whole night last night, so I didn't recover any HP, right?
Correct.
Okay, so I'm at 10 down. Okay.
Okay. And that one misses Paul. Gentlemen, do that thing. Tim, fire off your magic missiles, please. 10 becomes 13. On a 3 or 4, these will go into the evil guy in the middle there. They do not. They go to his companion, and they put enough holes in him that he whistles when he walks. Not that he's around to enjoy that sound effect, because he is now dead on the floor.
As long as it's a fluidic gurgling whistle.
All right, so let's see. Dooms, make your attack. And are you attacking the evil priesty one?
Yes.
All right.
Yes. By the light of Fultus you shall die this day.
19. Well, I don't know about dying right now, but that absolutely hits him.
I just said this day. There's a lot.
It didn't have a particular like time of day.
And we're gonna need it. 4 points.
All right. And Kevin.
All right, let's see what happens again. 22 again.
That is a hit. You are on fire. Speaking of
much.
which, all of you save against fire. I'm kidding. Roll your damage, sir.
Gary is blessing my rolls. It's a 10. 10 points of
Good
damage.
God, Gygax is with you all. All right. So let's see. Roll a d6, because you're not designating a target. You're just
Okay.
here. 1, 2, 3. It's the evil cleric. 4, 5, 6. It's his fellow. You cut him down. He is completely without any support. They are all dead. Paul steps up to put the boot in. But alas, he misses. Yeah, this guy knows he's a dead man walking, so he's just gonna keep fighting. Tim, do you have another magic missile shot you'd like to use? One more, perhaps?
Sure.
All right, and everybody else is meleeing. Let's roll initiative. And Kevin, was it you last time?
No, it's Thane this time. That was the last time I got a 5.
TK, give us a D6. I got a 3. TK421, why aren't you at your post?
Mr. The Thane Kyle, please show up at the white courtesy booth.
The white courtesy die is for initiative only. Perhaps he got called away. Dooms?
Yes.
An initiative roll. All right, 2. I got a 3. He swings his mace and brings it down at your ripe melon sitting on top of your shoulders, Dooms. And hits you.
Wow.
Crunch. That's 2 points of damage. Ah!
Yes, that's not a crunch. That's a
Ping. Okay.
ping.
All right. Party counterattacks. Tim, magic missile.
5.
5 becomes 8. He didn't like that. All right. Dooms, do unto others as other has done unto you. That will not hit. You are staggered by that blow. Paul, do we have a little stabbing music 16 will hit. Paul hacks him for a lot of damage. And Kevin, did you already? Yeah.
I have not rolled. Yeah.
You have not rolled. Please do.
22 again.
Good Lord.
You and I need to go to Vegas, man.
Right?
With 4 points of damage.
With 4 points of damage.
That's 3 22s in a row.
I know. That's completely bonkers. All right. So, a new round. More of the same. Tim, do you have any spells to cast? Or are you just going to sit back and watch this chump get crumped?
I'm just going to sit back and let these guys hack him to death.
All right. Let's roll initiative. And Tim, roll initiative for us at least. Let's see what happens.
I'm not sure I can do that.
I got a 6.
Well, then what I have is
4.
completely irrelevant because.
All right. You know what? I'm going to try the classic. And let us go with I should have stuck with my purple dice. All right, so counterattacks, guys. So roll a purple d20 for Paul. Paul will hit. You gotta be careful when you add multiple dice to your to your dice bag. You can accidentally roll like 2 at once.
You can also roll dice that you don't have in your dice bag.
Yes, you can, as we have seen. Paul steps forward and drives his sword into this creature, and it dies with a malediction on its snarled lips and slumps to the floor.
Excellent.
And nothing immediately comes looking.
Excellent.
Behind you, you hear Telengard gasp, "I've not seen slayers such as you." That is where we will leave it for the week. The smell of blood and burned flesh hangs in the air. Your ears are ringing from the clash of steel on armor, the shouts of glory and pain, and the sibilant words of magic still stinging the very core of your being. You take a breath and wonder what might be around the next corner. I want to thank my esteemed group of players. We'll have another one joining us next week, by the way, guys. Don't go away. Tune in next week. Guys, if you like this, please give the video a thumbs up. If you're watching this after the fact, leave me a comment down below and tell me just how awesome you think I am. Thank you again to our players. Thank you, Gonzalo Liras Bartab, for a couple of supers tonight. I really appreciate that. And because Tim wanted a scroll of it, this is for you guys. Here is a fierce owl bear. Peace. Good night. Love you all. See you tomorrow.
Have you seen my owl bear? Here's to all the weirdos everywhere in the woods and in the air. Have you seen my owl bear? Should I shave off all my hair? Bobs are all around, some live in tunnels underground. Some are fat, some are rich, some are sleeping in a ditch. Can you ride a crooked horse without a saddle, way off course? Naked as a toad, all the way to Smoky Joe's. Have you seen the little creep driving fast in his little green Jeep? He smells like fish and brandy, but his rotten teeth look dandy. Take me to the show, I don't care if fast or slow. From action flicks to dancing dicks, just take me